Okay, 10 minutes to tell the next generation everything they possibly can handle and need to know to live the rest of their lives and to fulfill the purpose God has for them. Yeah, we could do this. Father, we're grateful for this opportunity. Pray that there would be ears to hear, eyes to see what you're saying. Pray that every word would be spoken from your heart. You care deeply about this generation. You care deeply about your plan coming to full fruition, which will involve both the kindness and the severity of God. And it's a heavy, sober weight being placed on this generation, but for such a time as this, you've called them forward. So help this old Mordecai to talk to young Esther, get these plans across. So the good news is it's a video. You can stop it and go look at the scriptures I point out. I won't have time to go to them myself. I'll just point them to you. And yeah, for those who have ears to hear, you'll be able to hear by looking at the scriptures, making everything more clear. You guys are the last generation. But it says no one will know the day or the hour. Yeah, well, it doesn't say no one will know the generation. You guys are the last generation. So you need to be ready to experience all that will happen as a result of all that needs to happen in order for the Antichrist to be shown to be a big fat liar and for God to be shown to be incredibly faithful to everything all the prophets have ever promised from the beginning of time to the end of time, to the day of the Lord at the very end. It's very important that the Messiah, the King of Israel, return and make everything right. A lot has to happen between now and then. We're on a much quicker time scale. I think even people in the world have noticed what a back-to-back-to-back set of events has been happening lately, and these are the early birth pangs prophesied to happen, that there would be birth pangs. Well, birth pangs are painful, and then they go away, and then they come back a little bit stronger and a little bit more painful, and then they go away, and then they come back a little bit stronger and a little bit more painful, and eventually a baby is born. So that'll be the pattern. There'll be a sort of a little return to normalcy. Oh, we're so good to have everything back to normal. We're so glad. And then another birth pang will hit, and it will not be normal, and it will be worse. And we better be prepared for that kind of happening over these next few years as the time is prepared for the end. What I was hoping to share on at Vespers was Hebrews, so I'll give you a quick little rundown of that. Jesus, because of his amazing love shown to us on the cross, while we were yet sinners, cleansed us of all sin. Those who turn to him, those who believe in what he did on the cross, have every chain broken. And when they go down in the waters of baptism, the old man, the dead old man, stays under the water, and new and living, new creation man comes up out of that water. So what he did for us, what the book of Hebrews exalts him for doing for us, is he gave us access to the Holy of Holies. So right now, I'm in the presence of God because of what Jesus did. And if we live like that and know that to be the case, and realize that is our desperate need to just stay in that place. Lord, I need you. I don't have enough wisdom. I don't have enough power. I don't have enough anything to walk through these times, I need you, then from that place of knowing our great need and of knowing his great accomplishment that he did for us, we are living the life. That is what walking in the Spirit is. So, living the life, walking in the Spirit. Boy, I hope this microphone's working. If it's not on, that'll be disappointing. But I'll just do it again. Alright, so that puts us, that time, that accomplishment on the cross puts us in a place where we can enter the Holy Holies and be in the presence of God. We maintain being in that presence simply by admitting our great need of that presence. We're weak. So at rest in what he has done, we are in him, and in him we eat from the tree of life. There's no fruit that is good on the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. What we think, who we think should be the next whatever, who the Antichrist is, whether or not he's some rich guy that we all think he is. No. No, the Bible's pretty clear. He comes from north of Israel, that country over there. So you've got Assyria, Syria. It's now called Syria. Back in the day, it was a dominating kingdom called Assyria. That extended up into probably Turkey. And you could go above there, it would be Russia, but I probably wouldn't go above there. Somewhere in the Syria-Turkey area, a leader will arise, and he'll be a part of a covenant that allows for the beginning of the rebuilding of the temple, the third temple built over in Jerusalem. Somehow that'll get started and sacrifices will start again. I don't know how God's going to work that out in such a short period of time. But he's an amazing God, and he will. So once we see all that happening, we'll know that we are on the clock at that point. The prophetic time clock is the third temple, a covenant made that allows for peace in that area, that would allow for a rebuilding of the altar and the temple. Whether or not they finish it is up for grabs, but they're ready. There are many people ready to rebuild it. The purpose is because there has to be a temple on the earth for the Antichrist to stand in and declare himself to be God. So that has to exist. It's part of prophecy. So when you see all that happening, we're getting close. The Bible speaks in Daniel of a 7-year covenant being made and confirmed. But in the middle of that covenant that says, okay, yeah, it's peaceful and you can rebuild that, in the middle of that, 3.5 years in, that covenant is broken. And the Antichrist is the leader of that breaking. And he stands in the temple and declares himself to be God. At that point, there's going to be 3.5 years of very deep, dark trouble. And the church will be there during that time. The ecclesia, the gathering, the Messiah's community of God, will be right in the midst of that. Because God doesn't remove the light when it gets dark. That's actually the chance for the light to finally show itself to truly be the light. And it actually is a very purifying thing to go through hard times and tribulation. That is how you get purified. So expect it. Know that since we're not like Jesus in all respects, that's what he's doing. The plan of God is to make us like Jesus in all respects. So he's working hard on that. Daniel chapter 11 verse 21, and then read it straight through to the end of Daniel, and it'll give you a good idea of what the Antichrist is going to be doing. Anyway, I just broke myself over 10 minutes there, only by 35 seconds. Thanks for listening.